Did Bismarck create a unified Germany? Because tomorrow you're going to be doing review for Unit 6. All right, so we talked about Italy. Today we're going to talk about Germany. So just to kind of show you a little bit of the area that is Germany, I should say this a little bit, shows you a little bit better. You can see the area that is controlled by Prussia in blue versus the areas that are controlled by Austria in red. Notice that though neither of those countries are completely within the confines of what's going to become Germany. So once Germany does become united, there's going to be land that had been held by Prussia outside of Germany. There's going to be land that's held out of Austria. That's going to be part of Germany. So the first question is, how was Germany affected by the Revolution of 1848? Because we talked about this this week. So we know that the revolutions of 1848 unseated several German states, and the Frankfurt Assembly essentially was a failure. And also that the Germans in a lot of ways were still also very attached to their individual states, not necessarily to this whole idea of a Germany. Here we can kind of see this is this creation of what was referred to as the German Confederation. Germany, though, was industrializing rapidly to catch up with other parts of the West. And because of that, their cities were becoming more connected. Control in Prussia was being weakened in some ways by these various different revolutions that had been occurring, and their position as a world power was slipping for Prussia, and that was something that was very concerning to the Prussian government. In 1850, your liberals really wanted a more government, more parliamentary control of Prussia. They didn't want an authoritarian, king, which is what Prussia kind of is at this point. And the liberals in Prussia did not like the army, and they felt that their main rivals were the Junkers, which are the nobles in the state. So part of the story of a unified Germany is going to be this opposition between the liberals in Prussia and the Junkers, the conservatives, the nobles within Germany, within Prussia. So the second question, I should say, is how did Bismarck control Prussia? So Bismarck was the chief minister. He was appointed chief minister in 1862. Now, we've talked about Bismarck before, in particular in AP World, and even in AP Euro, in talking about imperialism because of the Berlin Conference in 1884, and then also because of the rise of World War I. But so Bismarck, 1862, becomes Otto von Bismarck, I should say, is his full name, is appointed chief minister. He was a Junker. He came off as a country squire. He kind of gave that kind of impression, but he very much advocated for Junker ideas. Like, he very much was a product of his class in that way and wanted to see the Junkers win out over the liberals in Prussia. But he did feel that he himself was intellectually superior to the average Junker. He was not a nationalist, similar to Cavour, because Cavour in Italy, sees a unified Italy as the most practical thing for Italy as far as the economy. Bismarck sees a unified Germany as a way to increase the power of Prussia. So he really wanted to strengthen Prussia's position in Germany. He did not really want the love of Germany. It was more, I guess you could say he's more of a Prussian nationalist than a German nationalist. He didn't really understand the West. He didn't understand liberalism, democracy, socialism. All these ideas were pretty repugnant to him. He was very practical, and he was very opportunistic, and he would take advantage of the situations in which he was in. And he was willing to present himself in whatever way he could to get the most support. And he is going to be serving under Kaiser Wilhelm I. So here he is as chancellor. He very much believed in this idea, what we call realpolitik, or what we talked about with Cavour, the politics of reality, this idea of taking advantage of the situation to your own best interests. He's also referred to as the Iron Chancellor, and he's usually associated with this slogan, blood and iron. So let me fix this. These you can't, the little German flags you can't really see. Hold on. Here's some good Bismarck quotes, even though I'm sorry, it's kind of hard to read with these little flags. All right. The less people know about how sausages and laws are made, the better they'll sleep at night. Never believe in anything until it has been officially denied. And then the greatest, questions of the day will not be settled by speeches and majority decisions. That was the mistake of 1848 to 1849, but by blood and by iron. He also said, I am bored. They're a great thing. The great things are done. The German Reich is made. A generation that has taken a beating is always followed by a generation that deals one. And some damn foolish thing in the Balkans will provoke the next war. If that's not something, I don't know. He was predicting World War I. Remember, had Bismarck been around a little bit longer, he might not have had World War I. He was, like I said, he was very good, practical, opportunistic, and able to take advantage of different situations. Now, he was really good at outfacing the liberals in the government because from 1862 to 1866 in Prussia, there's going to be a constitutional struggle. And basically, he didn't listen to what Parliament wanted. He just did what he wanted. And people in Prussia were so conditioned to just follow whatever the government said. They did whatever Bismarck said, even though Parliament had never passed any of these laws. Parliament wouldn't pass taxes. He collected them anyway. And people paid because you just obeyed the government. That's what you did. And he used that money to enlarge the military, even though Parliament did not want it. And he felt that the boundaries of Prussia that were set at the Congress of Vienna were unsound. And he felt that there must be ready to seize any opportunity when they arise. And the reasons why Germans do ultimately look to Prussia for unity is not that they're going to gain political freedom. The average German understood that they weren't getting a democracy. They weren't getting political freedom and natural rights when they kind of sided with Prussia, but they were getting power. That's what they hoped to get out of everything. So Bismarck has a similar issue that Cavour has, in that Austria needs to be pushed out of Germany, just like Austria needed to be pushed out of Italy, if there was going to be, at least for Bismarck, a unified Germany that was led by Prussia. So Bismarck is going to provoke some wars in order to reach his goals. Now, the first war that he provokes, I don't even fully understand this war, the Austro-Prussian War. It's referred to sometimes as a 7 weeks war because it was very, very small. So we have these two areas, and I mentioned this briefly in relation to the Revolution of 1848. He wanted these two regions here, Schleswig and Holstein. So he wanted to control both Schleswig and Holstein. These two little regions were half German, half Danish, and the Danish country was having their own national consolidation. So he joins with Austria in 1864, and Austria and Prussia defeat Denmark. Ultimately, Bismarck wanted to annex both regions, both Schleswig and Holstein. But he knew that that would cause problems with Austria, since Austria helped them defeat them, and he wanted to use it as a way to cause problems with Austria. So Prussia occupies Schleswig. Austria occupies Holstein. And the Prussians kind of pretend to regulate disputes over internal disorder. And Britain, which had a policy at the time of non-intervention, Russia was in the middle of a reform program after the Crimean War, and they still had very much hostile feelings towards Austria because of the Crimean War. Bismarck thought he could pretty much get away with this. Italy wasn't going to get involved because they were holding out hopes to gain Venetia. And so in order to weaken Austria, Bismarck presents himself as a Democrat and wanting to reform the German Confederation. To that end, he raises the matter of Schleswig-Holstein at the German Diet, which was like this meetings they would have of the German Confederation. He said, in an attempt to prevent war, which is unfair, which is not true because he was trying to do this to provoke a war. And Bismarck declares that the Diet had no power and that Austria was acting aggressively, and he ordered his army to invade Holstein. This led to this Austro-Prussian War in 1866. Are you confused yet? Because I know I am. I still don't really understand what the heck was going on with this war. But in the end, Prussia goes to war against a lot of the other German states as well. But the Prussian army was superior, and they defeat the Austrians at the Battle of Sadowa, or Sadua. And basically, this reason why this war is so short is because he rushes to make peace before the rest of Europe can really realize what's going on. And as a result, Prussia annexes many kingdoms in the north, and in 1867, he founds the North German Confederation, eliminating the Austrian-led German Confederation. And this new Northern German Confederation would be controlled by Prussia. Now, there were states in the south, and Austria were out of this organization. They did not have their own union. But the North German Confederation produces itself a constitution. It makes the King of Prussia the head of the North German Confederation. It creates a parliament with 2 chambers, in which the lower chamber is elected through universal male suffrage, which was unheard of in Europe at this time. And this is a perfect example of Bismarck willing to appear very democratic or appear liberal when he really wasn't. And so he used the masses to gain support for this empire. So what we have here is this larger, this larger North German Confederation. We still have some of these lands here like Bavaria and some of these other southern German areas that are not part of this confederation. And of course you have Austria, which is not part of this confederation either. So how did Bismarck then use war with France to complete his unification? Because as of this point, we have a North German Confederation again, but all of this land here, which is German, not part of Germany. So he needs to kind of deal with France. Again, I'll show this again because a lot of this borders France, so which is why France would have a say in what's going on. So how did Bismarck use war with France to complete unification? So this is another example of Bismarck being an opportunistic and seizing on opportunities when they work well for him. So South Germany, which was not part of the German Confederation and not part of Austria, was a threat to France. Napoleon III's foreign policies were not very popular. And because we see that there are a lot of strong states along the borders of France. And South Germany was kind of floating. It wasn't clear if South Germany was going to go to France, was it going to go to Austria, was it going to go to Prussia? And so Prussia played up fears of war with France and felt that this would ultimately lead to the South German states joining up with the North German Confederation. And so at this, just coincidentally, I guess you could say, sorry, coincidentally, there is a revolution in Spain. When this revolution in Spain happens, the provisional government, the temporary government that's set up in order to create a more permanent government, the provisional government invites Prince Leopold of Hohenzollern, the Hohenzollerns are the ruling family of Prussia, to the throne because they're related. France was dead set against this because France is like, crap, if the Hohenzollerns take control of Spain and now they have this larger Germany, then France is going to be kind of surrounded by the Prussians. It was okay though because the Hohenzollerns were against this. The Prussian royal family did not want to take on the problem of trying to govern Spain. So they refused the offer 3 times. Like, we don't want it, we don't want it, we don't want it. Bismarck goes to Spain and convinces Spain to make the offer a 4th time. Makes it seem like maybe the Prussian royal family is willing to take the offer. France hears that Prussia accepted. There's this rumor that's put around that Prussia accepted. On the 4th offering, the Prussians finally accepted. So the French send an ambassador to meet with the King of Prussia at Ems. Ems is where he has his summer resort. And the French ambassador demands that the acceptance of the Spanish throne be withdrawn. And it was, because the Hohenzollerns didn't want it. And it was a rumor that they were going to accept it in the first place. But France made Prussia promise, or the French ambassador said to the Prussian king, I want you to promise that no Hohenzollern will ever be king of Spain. And the king of Prussia is like, no, why would I commit to something like that. And why would the king? Why would the king commit to something like that to the French ambassador? He's in a higher position. And also, why would you ever, like, you know, it's like, I've said no. I don't want it. I don't have to keep telling you I'm going to say no. Like, that's it. Why would he back himself into a corner like that? So he refuses to say that he will never accept the king of the throne of Spain. The report of this conversation was telegraphed back to Bismarck because he was the what the heck was his position? The chief minister, because he's the chief minister. You know, this conversation is telegraphed back to Bismarck. Bismarck saw an opportunity. So he edits the telegram. So this is what's known as the Ems telegram. And he takes the telegram and he edits it so it sounds like it had been a much more curt exchange than what it was, where in actuality, it was very much a formal diplomatic conversation. He edits it so it sounds like a much more curt exchange where the king had been insulted and the French ambassador has been snubbed. And so here's kind of the edited version. This then gets leaked to the press. And as a result, both sides begin pushing for war because now the Prussian king has been insulted, the French ambassador has been snubbed, so both sides call for war. On July 19th, 1870, France declares war. And this becomes known as the Franco-Prussian War, which you might have heard me reference in regards to World War I because, you know, the French keep just getting invaded by the Germans all the time. So Prussia had support of South Germany. France had no allies. This war was over by September of 1871. The French were no match for the Prussian army. Napoleon III is taken prisoner in Paris on September 4th. This leads to the downfall of the of Napoleon III's empire. Paris is occupied and besieged, and the Third Republic is proclaimed. Now, while all this is happening, this also gets a little bit crazy, but I'll get to this in a second. So here you can see some of the fighting that was happening in France, and it is the Treaty of Frankfurt that ends this war. The Second French Empire collapsed and is replaced with the Third French Republic. The Italians took Rome and made it their capital. So this is what allowed Italy to finally be united, because it's actually the Austro-Prussian War that allows Italy to gain Venetia. Russia puts warships in the Black Sea in defiance of the 1856 Treaty of Paris that ended the Crimean War. France pays a huge indemnity and is occupied by German troops until it was paid, which might lead to some bad blood between France and Germany. France has to cede Alsace-Lorraine to Germany, a region rich in iron deposits. And we've been talking about and going back and forth between France and Germany, going all the way back to Louis XVI's time. There's Bismarck with all of his blood on his hands. So this is Bismarck and Napoleon III kind of negotiating. And here, this is Kaiser Wilhelm becoming Emperor of Germany, which happens on January 18th in 1871. And it happens in the Hall of Mirrors in the Palace of Versailles. So Prussian Junkers swear their allegiance to the Kaiser. And here we have the German imperial flag. This becomes known as the Second Reich. Reich is the German word for empire, the First Reich being the Holy Roman Empire, this being the Second Reich, and then the Third Reich being the Nazis. And Bismarck seen here as manipulating the Reichstag and kind of, using it to his own advantage. Bismarck also undertakes an anti-Catholic program. He wants to take education and marriage out of the hands of the clergy, and the only types of marriages that are recognized are civil marriages. Jesuits are expelled from Germany, which are those really, really devout Catholics, and the education of Catholic priests would be under the supervision of the German government. Here we can see Kaiser Wilhelm II becoming the emperor, the first emperor of Germany. Excuse me. Just to kind of show you, these are some of Queen Victoria's grandchildren. Remember I said many of them were related and first cousins, because of Queen Victoria leading up to World War I. And I think I also mentioned this in, I can't remember which class. So this is the victory monument that the Germans had made to commemorate the victory of the Franco-Prussian War. That angel is made out of melted down French cannon. And it sits in the center of Berlin in what's called the Tiergarten. And it used to just be on this original tower. And then when Hitler came to power, he raised it up so that it was even higher, so it could be seen all over the city of Berlin. So Paris, like I said, falls to German troops. Bismarck creates a constituent assembly, a Reichstag, based on universal male suffrage. France, again, has to pay this indemnity, cede Alsace and Lorraine, and Germany becomes the strongest state in Europe. But liberalism is dead in Germany. The rulers joined with Germany, not the people. And so what you have Germany become, basically, is a federation of monarchies who all answer to the German emperor. Each state, because remember, Germany at one point was all these different separate states, each state kept its own laws. So, was German unification inevitable, is the question.